We've known this for almost 4 decades that alcohol causes cancer.
Mhm.
So like, it's not fair to anybody to say we didn't know. We
Right.
knew. We've been talking about it. People just haven't been listening, or maybe they weren't in a place that they were ready to listen to it and hear it,
Mhm.
right? And still, a lot of the people still aren't. But the good news is, a lot of people are ready to hear it. They have been
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah. And
But
I'm getting DMs like, I can't believe you're saying that I can't drink my wine anymore. I said, you're not listening to anything
you're
I've
not
said. I would
listening at all.
I would never tell anyone, and still I would never tell anybody not to drink because you're an adult, right? I will work with you around that. But you need to know the facts, and it's what
Yes.
you do with those facts that matter.
Welcome to Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt, the world's #1 no bullshit health and fitness podcast.
Are you ready to cut the crap with your diet and exercise, get strong as fuck, and build a healthy relationship with food? Then you've come to the right place.
Let's go. If you'd like to support us in the podcast, join our Patreon where you get exclusive content, which consists of monthly workouts you can do at home or at the gym, monthly challenges that are either strength, habit, or mindset based, and access to over 100 plus low-calorie, high-protein, family-friendly meals. These are all designed by a professional chef who is certified in nutrition. These recipes are already in MyFitnessPal for easy fucking tracking. New recipes are also added each week.
We believe that fitness is for everyone, so this is our way of getting you started on your health and fitness journey at a price most everyone can afford. So what the fuck are you waiting for? We'll see you in the Patreon.
Nerdle, we're back. Hello.
What's up, Nerdle? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm
Good.
doing well. How about yourself?
I'm fucking awesome right now, actually.
Yeah, I love it.
Shit's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling that too. I've got the same vibes.
Getting
and it's
back
really,
into the rhythm of the new year. Things are busy.
finding our
fucking
groove again. Stella got her groove back.
Yeah. Launching the challenge right now. So I am now where you were a week
The
or
last
two
month.
ago. So I'm
Yeah.
just finishing the final touches of fucking going dive deep for the next week.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's a lot of work, right? So
Dude, it is, right? It's
we just
exhausting,
launched, for
isn't
everybody
it?
listening, we just launched, and there's probably some people listening that are in the challenge. We just launched our challenge January 6th. And yeah,
Mhm.
that's like a 2 to 3 week nonstop, really intensive, like
Yeah.
work block, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yours is coming up at the end of the month then, right?
26 is the launch date, but we start our waiting list right now. So
Yeah.
because we cap it and we want to make sure that people get notified.
Same.
So they
Like
can get in. Yeah.
2 to 3 week kind of sign up period, right?
Mhm.
Like people that, I mean, because I don't know how your pre-sign up list works. It's like usually people that are just raising their hand over the course of in between challenges, or people have shown interest in past ones, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you
Yeah.
guys get first dibs. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then it's funny because then we close it because we cap it because we have to keep it at a certain amount. So
Yep.
we don't get overwhelmed. We want to make sure everyone's getting the proper coaching and everything like that.
For sure.
And of course we're like, oh my God, I missed it. Can I get in? It's like, well,
Happens every time. Like,
you got to pay attention. I mean,
I literally put that in all of my stories, my posts about my challenge. I'm like, guys, when I say
Yeah.
we have 10 spots, I actually mean we have 10 spots. When those are
Right.
gone, it's fucking over. Like, sign up,
Right.
it's gone. Then it's time for us to
Exactly.
start fulfilling the service for our clients that paid for it. We're not going
Yeah.
to wait for you because you can't decide.
And
When it's
so
done,
many
it's
people are
done.
last minuters. It's like, don't sit on it. If you're stressed or you're wondering, just do it. Just fucking do it scared. Okay.
Just do it.
Do it scared.
Do it stressed. I do it obsessed. I do
Right.
it
That's right.
my song of the year.
Fucking just
Yeah,
do it.
and I love to see that we're both in really good spirits, especially
Yeah.
with as much shit as we've been getting.
You know
this
what? I
past
feel
week.
like we're in the same groove right now. We're on the same because we have the passion about the same topics currently. And it's like we're doing everything without telling each other,
Oh
and we're
my
doing the
God, I
same
know.
fucking thing, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah. So for anybody that's listening, you probably may or may not have heard us talking on our social media. Surgeon General dropped a bombshell on the country, and the country isn't responding too well to it. So the bombshell, if you've been sleeping under a rock, I don't blame you for not paying attention to the fucking news and world events.
Right.
The bombshell is the Surgeon General has made a recommendation that they start putting warning labels on alcohol for warning labels for cancer, that it causes cancer. 7 different types of cancer, in fact, much like they did with tobacco, decades ago, when they put the warning label on that nicotine in cigarettes causes cancer, right?
Cancer, lung cancer, yeah.
Now they're doing the same thing with alcohol, which is great. Like, I don't know why people would be upset about that. But oh my God, the world is losing its
It's
mind.
like you guys have been asleep, not knowing that alcohol has been a poison. It's never not been. It's been a toxin. It's been a neurotoxin. It's always caused cancer. It's just now because of alcohol being surrounded by fucking big money, big alcohol, lots of money, lobbyists. They don't want that fucking alcohol to go away. Why? Because they make a lot of money in the taxes that way, right? Lots of people are going to be losing a lot of money. So why would you want to get rid of something that makes a fucking shit ton of money?
Yeah.
That's why it's been taking so long. My guess is for this shit to really
It's a
come
very,
out.
yeah, you can't talk about alcohol without people getting upset and it being politicized, unfortunately.
Right.
But what we were saying is like, we're on the same page 100%. It's been fun because we've been just arguing with people and calling people out, but we've been doing it in a place like we're having fun with it. And
Yeah.
some people think we're upset and angry. It's like, no, we're just tired and we're just making fun of
I feel validated for everything we've been talking about for this
We
many
are
years we've been on the
100%
internet.
validated.
We have been talking about this, me and Matt, since we've known each other.
Mm.
You know, this has been the science behind it. Okay.
Well, why now, Beth? Right? Like that's what people are saying. Why now? Like why are they just now saying this? What are they hiding? Like, no, we've
I'm
known.
not hiding anything.
We've known. You just haven't been listening.
Yeah. It's hard to listen to something that you may not want to face. Trust me, I've been there. Okay. I
Yeah.
totally get it.
The fact is, like, we've known alcohol, aka really ethanol, right, has been it's been classified as a Group 1 carcinogen since 1988. We've known this for almost 4 decades that alcohol causes cancer. So, like, it's not fair to anybody to say we didn't know. We knew. We've been talking about it. People just haven't been listening, or maybe they weren't in a place that they were ready to listen to it and hear it, right? And still, a lot of the people still aren't. But the good news is, a lot of people are ready to hear it. They have been listening.
Yeah. And
But
you know, I'm getting DMs like, I can't believe you're saying that I can't drink my wine anymore. I said, you're not listening to anything I've said.
You're not listening at all.
I would never tell anyone, and still I would never tell anybody not to drink because you're an adult, right? I will work with you around that. But you need to know the facts, and it's what you do with those facts that matter, right?
Yes, what we take issue with, right, Beth, is when you're denying the impact that alcohol has on your health and your goals while still drinking alcohol. And the other issue we have is when you're telling people that fruit is bad for them, sugar is bad for them, seed oils is bad for them, yet you're not talking about alcohol. Or you're completely still just ingrained in the alcohol culture yourself. Like that's what we have a problem with. Our job, we're science communicators at the end of the day. We are here to communicate the facts from an unbiased way, because one thing we know and we say all the time is facts don't care about your fucking feelings.
Exactly.
We are here to deliver the facts. What you do with them is up to you.
Yeah. It's like when I say things, I'm not giving you my opinion. Okay. Everyone's like, that's your opinion. It's like, no, it's not my fucking opinion.
It's not my opinion that alcohol
literally fact
causes 7 different types of cancer. That's not my opinion.
Or just because you had a problem, Beth, doesn't mean everyone else does. It's like, listen, I am not basing this off my personal experience. Okay. That is separate.
Yeah. I think what the biggest bombshell is for people, because for so long, people have been told that moderate drinking is okay and it's not going to harm you. But now what the Surgeon General is saying, and the data suggests this and supports this, is that even one drink a week.
One drink a week raises your cancer risk by 16%.
Yes, it is. Okay, so
I know.
I'm going to quote it verbatim, and we'll cite the source and everything here. Higher alcohol consumption increases alcohol-related cancer risk in women and men. Okay, so we're talking about absolute risk of cancer percentage. Okay, if you drink less than 1 drink per week, 1 or less, your absolute risk of developing 7 different types of cancer is increased by 16.5%. 1 drink a week.
Yeah.
That is, I think, what is the biggest eye opener for people. Because, like, what do you mean? The doctors have been saying it's heart healthy. I can have a glass of wine. Well, you still can, but just know it's going to cause an impact. It can, and most likely will, cause an impact to your health in some form or matter down the road. Even 1 drink a week. Let's see, 1 drink a day. That's what people would probably consider moderate drinking, like a healthy intake of alcohol. It's not too much, right? Well, even 1 drink a day, which is 7 drinks per week, 19% absolute risk of cancer developing in women. For men, that 1 drink a week is 10% and 11.4% for 1 drink a day. Okay. Now, men, of course, I think I'll have to dive into the data. I think the percentage for men, how it doesn't jump up as high. I think probably because one of the biggest
estrogen.
cancers that develops from drinking is breast cancer, and that's not very
Mhm.
common in men, very
Right.
common in women. That's my kind of a hunch. I don't know.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
I believe. I don't know
Mhm.
for sure, but I'm guessing that's the correlation.
Yep. And so
Um,
just because I want to be very like these aren't our opinions, and these are you can go find this information. The U.S. Surgeon General, read his advisory, but here's the citation too. Okay, the source is calculated with data from Sariak P. et al. 2021.
maybe we can leave
Alcohol
these in the show
consumption,
notes.
drinking patterns, and cancer incidence in an Australian cohort of 226 participants aged 445 years and over in the British Journal of Cancer. That's the citation here. This graph represents the cumulative absolute risk of alcohol-related cancer in women and men over the lifespan by age 80. Alcohol-related cancer includes breast, colorectal, esophagus, liver, mouth, throat, and voice box cancers. Essentially anything alcohol touches, right? Anything alcohol touches, it kills. I mean, you think about that, it's your digestive system. Everything in your digestive system that alcohol touches is shown to be increased risk of cancer.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
I want to discuss how I understand that this is a total blow because,
Yeah.
wine, alcohol is social, right?
Mhm.
And just like that dietitian was saying yesterday,
Oh,
it should be okay to have your glass of wine with your meal. She's normalizing the social
that's the
drinking
alcohol
aspect
culture we're talking about, man.
and the fact that it's been so normalized and glorified. Like,
Because we
ooh,
always did it, so we
sexy,
should continue doing it.
sexy, 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 having my wine with my beautiful meal. So lovely. Like, it's a beautiful, shiny fucking thing, right? When it literally is not. But that is what's happening is people are not understanding that we have put alcohol and wine and everything. It's on a pedestal. Like you can't live your fucking life without it. Think about that.
Yeah,
You
that's
can't
sad.
have a nice dinner without it.
Why?
What is wrong
Why?
with that equation?
Yeah, what's wrong there?
I've been enjoying dinners for 9 fucking years without wine, and I have amazing dinners.
Yeah,
Still
absolutely.
social.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not shit faced out of my fucking mind.
Isn't
And
that same dietitian
you
at the
know,
end of her video said you can keep drinking your wine? And then in the comments, she's trying to defend it. She's like, I'm not telling anybody to drink. I'm like, dude, you just closed that video by saying, don't worry, ladies, you can still drink your wine.
Mhm.
Isn't that the same dietitian that was like doing something with like some type of a celebrity promoting booze?
2019, because I went a little deep dive with her. She was doing boozy breakfast with Rachel Ray, and I was like, oh, that makes
Interesting.
sense. That
Interesting.
makes total sense.
So the woman that is literally profiting off of people drinking is telling you that it's okay to drink. Imagine that. Imagine
Mhm.
my surprise face.
There's
Wow.
always that little thing, that little ulterior motive when
Internet doesn't
you.
forget. We can find these things.
Oh yeah.
And now
Fuck
we have
around
been
and
having
find out. Fuck around
fun
and fuck
calling
around and
people the
find out
fuck
with
out these
me.
last few days.
I'll go down some dark holes. I'll sit in my fucking room and I'll just fucking scroll until I find all the dirt on your ass because I know there is some. Yeah, I
Fucking
know
Columbo.
if you're fucking spewing bullshit, I know
Yeah.
there's some fucking bullshit behind your spewing your bullshit,
Yeah,
right?
look at that. 5 years ago, you were doing boozy brunch with Rachel Ray. Wow, I'm sure.
And now you're
you
saying,
got
well,
compensated
everyone should have
nicely
their
for that
wine with
segment.
their dinner.
What was
Fucking
ironic is in those same comments, there was another self-proclaimed RD. Who knows if she was or not? Her profile had no credentials listed, but she's like, I'm a RD, and the dosage makes the poison. And I'm like, oh yes, I love that you just said that. I agree with
Yeah.
you. The dosage makes the poison. Can you tell me what amount of alcohol is poison? And she's like, well, according to this, which you can go read, it's like 5 ounces of wine or one drink. I'm like, I knew the answer. I didn't need to go read it. Thank you for proving my point that doesn't matter the amount, that all alcohol is poison. Thank you. And she said,
Right.
grow up. I need to grow up because she proved herself wrong is really what she did. She proved herself wrong. I just showed her that. And I'm the
Yeah.
one that needs to grow up. No, that's called cognitive dissonance. And it's a real big fucking problem around alcohol right now.
The dosage does usually make the poison, but it doesn't when it's actually a poison.
When one unit of alcohol is poison, like there
Right.
is no dosage. There is no acceptable dosage that's not poison, is what that means.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
and I think, and I want to talk about cognitive dissonance too, but before we get into that, I think I
What
would
does
like to talk.
cognitive dissonance mean, Matt?
Okay, so cognitive dissonance is a psychological state of discomfort that occurs
Okay.
when someone holds conflicting beliefs, values, or attitudes. Okay, it's mental discomfort that results from holding two or more conflicting beliefs.
Yep.
Some signs of cognitive dissonance include general discomfort that has no obvious or clear source, confusion, feeling conflicted over a disputed subject matter, discomfort before making a decision, feelings of guilt over past decisions, and justification or rationalization of behavior. So everybody that's saying we are shaming them for drinking, no, that is your cognitive dissonance speaking, because you are feeling some type of guilt or shame because you've known that alcohol is not beneficial for your health and it's harmful for your health this entire time, and you've been choosing to partake in it, and that's okay. But now you're being forced to face with the fucking facts that it's actually really bad for your health.
Yeah.
And that makes you feel shitty. That's cognitive dissonance.
Right.
We aren't shaming people. We're giving them facts. Facts don't care about feelings. So some like examples. I love talking about cognitive dissonance. It's like another example is smoking versus health, right? Smoking is generally known to be harmful to health, yet people continue to smoke despite this knowledge. It presents a cognitive dissonance for the smoker who must accept that their behavior contradicts their beliefs about health and well-being. That's what we're being forced to do. We're being forced to reckon with the fact that our actions aren't matching up with our goals. That's really what it comes down to. The things we say are important to us. We're talking the talk, but we're not walking the walk. That's the problem. That's why people are getting upset about this shit.
Yeah. And you guys, some of you guys, I should say, don't like us talking about this. Like, oh, stick to health. It's like, this is part of health.
That's what we're doing.
Do you know what I'm saying? Excuse me. This is part of and why we have always talked about this.
Yeah.
I have always had clients that have struggled with alcohol, and it has held them back from reaching their goals. It is a fucking issue.
Yeah.
It is a massive issue.
One of the leading causes of preventable death in the entire world. Why?
Along with obesity
that's a
and
pretty
smoking.
big health topic to talk about. I'm sorry that us talking about it upsets you. That's not our problem. You need to learn how to accept the facts.
Yep.
It's mind-blowing the amount of hate that we've been getting on social media.
Yeah.
Like literally, you saw the one yesterday with the guy that said, Cap, aspartame is rat poison. Oh, cool. Look at this profile picture. He's fucking drinking. He's drinking.
I know.
Look at his profile. Drink. I'm like, dude, you're drinking alcohol and telling me that aspartame is rat poison? Like, make it make sense. Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
Fruit is bad for you. Fruit, the sugar it's the sugar in the alcohol that's bad for you. That's another one we're saying. Oh, we're hearing, right? No, it's not the alcohol. It's the way it's prepared. They've been changing the way that they prepare alcohol. No, they've been making fucking alcohol the same way for thousands of years since we learned how to distill. No. Okay, it's not the sugar in the alcohol. It's not the ingredients in the alcohol. It's the fucking fact that it's a group 1 carcinogen proven to cause cancer in humans.
But Matt, so is processed meats.
When that's true, right? That is valid, but that's called whataboutism, right?
Right,
You're changing I know you gave that as an example because that's what we're hearing.
I'm being funny, but that's true, right? Like processed meats are...
What about this? Okay, that thing is true too, but can we stay on fucking topic here instead of deflecting?
That's the thing. Let's stay on the subject and then stop going to, but food is a drug. They're drugging us with our food. They're making us addicted with our food.
Whataboutism.
Fucking go. Let's bring it, bitch. No, food is not a fucking drug. It is not a fucking drug. And unless you've done cocaine on the back of a fucking bar stool in a bathroom, you have no idea. I've done coke.
I've done that,
fucking
but I've
meth.
done similar stupid
I've done everything but fucking heroin. And let me just say, I've had donuts, lots of fucking donuts, and those do not compare to cocaine. Okay.
But
Trust when I say that.
But Beth, research shows that sugar is just as addicting as heroin. That's what they say. Right?
It's not.
So, let's just dismantle that one really quickly. What that means is the scientists, they looked at the reward center. So you can see when the brain literally light up when you do heroin. You can literally see the reward center in the brain light up when you eat sugar. So they're talking about the reward center, the lights going off, the dopamine hits that you're receiving are identical or stronger. And that might be true when that hit of sugar you're getting can elicit a strong response in the reward center. But so does petting puppies.
Yeah. I said that today and someone told me to read the Bible.
Oh, like, no offense, guys. If you like, we're not making fun of religion here, but read the Bible. What does that have to do with
literally
addiction and comparing food?
I just don't understand.
I can't even finish my words.
It's your behavior and mindset when it comes to food. I'm not saying people think that I what is the word I'm looking for?
You're biased.
That
I think
that
you're
I
biased
don't that
because
I
you're an
don't think
alcoholic.
people struggle with food. I literally work with
Oh,
people that struggle with food every single day.
that's what we do for a living.
It's part of my job. I'm here to help you heal your relationship with food so you can actually have a few cookies and be okay and move the fuck on.
Have you
You
noticed,
know?
Steph, that people that struggle with their relationship with food, they not always, but there's also usually a connection, a correlation between struggling with alcohol and things like that as well. There's a
Mhm.
very, like, we've worked with so many clients, and we see
Yeah.
that a lot, right? When
Yep.
we have an unhealthy relationship with food, that shows itself in the way that we also have a relationship with alcohol and other types of things that are detrimental to our health,
Mhm.
because it's the
It
behaviors and mindset and the relationship
and
you have
it's
with it.
using these things as a means to cope with your life.
Yes.
Things that have happened to you, your depression, your stress, whatever it may be, you're unhappy, you're using these things as a means to cope. And I am all too familiar with that.
hmm Somebody told me yesterday, like, I love it when you talk about mental health. Why don't you continue talking about mental health? Well, alcohol is a big impact on mental health. And that's what I talk about too with my own journey. Like, it made my anxiety and depression so much
Yeah.
worse, you know?
And think about all the people drinking alcohol that are on anti-anxiety medications.
Right.
Now, how does that make sense? You guys are literally taking the anti-anxiety med and you're fucking drinking on top of it, which is a depressant.
Yes.
Makes no sense.
It makes no sense, guys. And again, we're not saying these things to shame you. We need to raise awareness to these things. We need
You need to wake up.
these are uncomfortable conversations. Absolutely. Nobody wants to be told that, hey, you've been doing this to yourself. That sucks. Like, but it's the fact. We
You can
can't
be
change
angry
that.
with us all you want. You can be like, they're so mean, they don't understand. But you need to hold yourself accountable and take responsibility for your own fucking actions.
You can drink, just understand the risks, and then don't come complaining after the fact if you willingly drink after knowing the risks. That's really all we're saying.
Yep.
Like me, I'm not completely sober. I do still drink alcohol from time to time. I understand that even one drink can have an impact on my health, that it is detrimental to my health. I own that, and I make the best decision for myself, which is usually to not drink, but sometimes I will. And if I get cancer because of that down the road, it's not going to be because, it's going to be because of all the other shit I've done,
Yeah.
most likely anyway. So, I used to drink a 30 pack of Old Milwaukee. I've never really identified as an alcoholic, but actually thinking like I was absolutely an alcoholic. Earlier in my days, just because I was eventually had a healthier relationship with it, I was absolutely an alcoholic. Nobody drinks a 30 pack of beer in a sitting and they're not an alcoholic. The bottle of Captain Morgan I drank multiple days a week as a fucking 18-year-old, 17-year-old. I used to drink handles of Southern Comfort mixed with fucking Mountain Dew up in my room and projectile vomiting Southern Comfort. Can't even smell it anymore to this day.
Oh my God, that shit is so
was
disgusting.
me growing up,
Yeah.
okay? I get it. I fucking get it. But at some point, enough was enough, just like it was for you, Beth.
Yeah. And I take full responsibility for my actions. I'm not literally sitting here blaming alcohol, right? I'm blaming myself for getting involved in alcohol, but I'm taking responsibility for it. And I also took responsibility for taking my fucking life back. That's what you need to do. You struggle with food, take fucking responsibility. Take your life back because you can. Stop blaming everything
when you blame
outside
the food,
sources.
You have no control. When you blame the food, you have no control. That's you're giving up the control to that thing.
That's the thing. And that's part of the actual problem.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I can't stop at just one cookie, right? Well, do you think that you're alone in that? I think everyone could probably agree that cookies are really fucking good. And everybody will want more than one fucking cookie.
I will eat a dozen cookies every time I
You know what I'm saying? But you have to choose to eat within your values, right? With your values. Okay. I need to have a couple cookies and stop while eating more. You stop knowing that you're going to want more, but you can have more tomorrow. You don't need more right now. It's always available to you, but you have this good or bad, can't mindset. And so you fucking down all the cookies, then you stop eating all the cookies. And then you're like, I just want another cookie. And then you have them again. And then you can't stop. And you're like, it is all the cookies' fault. I just can't stop eating them. Well, that's because you have a horrible relationship with them. You restrict and then you fucking binge on them. But if you actually included them in your life, you're like, yeah, that's just a fucking cookie. And then you move the fuck on and you have another one tomorrow. That's the fucking issue.
Right. With relationship with food, right? It's a little different with alcohol, as you know, as everybody knows. That's why we're talking about this in a context of, when people are comparing food to alcohol addiction. They aren't the same thing. And there's a reason for that, okay? You talk to legitimate mental health professionals that deal with eating disorders and legitimate mental health. They're not talking about food addiction.
Yep.
They can't even diagnose somebody addicted to
It's
food
not
because
even
it's
an
not a
actual
diagnosis.
listed addiction. It's not under the
Completely made
DSM-5
up.
of addictions. Okay.
Completely made up.
So when you say food addiction, do you mean you're addicted to salads and broccoli and fucking Brussels sprouts? That's food.
How can you be
Okay.
addicted to something that you need to survive? You're addicted to sugar. Oh yeah, are you sitting there in the corner like eating spoonfuls of sugar? No, almost nobody's doing that. I don't know anybody that's doing that. Nobody's ever told me that they're doing that. No, they're eating a carton of ice cream. They're eating a dozen cookies, which are loaded in fat and carbohydrates and
salt.
sodium and all the shit that has
But
been
Matt, it's all the
manufactured.
chemicals. The chemicals are making me addicted. Oh, do you mean the salt, the sugar, the flour, the fucking oil, all the things that taste really good?
When you put them together, like imagine that. You've described food.
Yeah.
You've described food, and you've described how the human body works in response to food. So now you know. So you can begin changing that if you want. And people do want to every day. That's the nice thing about what we do is, then that's why we won't stop talking about these things. For as vocal as the people are that are arguing with us and telling us that we're dipshits, literally, I called a dipshit. I've been called stupid, all kinds of things in the last couple of days. We're not going to stop because of those things, because in private, people are messaging us, you're changing my life. I needed to hear that about alcohol. I needed to hear that about food addiction. I needed to hear that I am in control, because my entire life I've been a fucking victim and I have never had control over anything until you told me and helped me connect the fucking dots.
Yeah.
That is why we will not stop. And that is why we will not shut up.
Exactly.
How can you change? How are we going to change something if we don't talk about it, right? People said the same things about smoking decades ago. Oh, that's not going to do anything. That's not going to do anything. Putting a warning label on cigarettes isn't going to do anything. People are going to continue to smoke. Well, guess what? It turns out that the big tobacco, they were lying about the health impact of cigarettes on people. They knew it caused cancer. Imagine that. Does that sound familiar with what's going on right now? There's some parallels. Big alcohol has fucking known too, and they've been lying. They've been paying people off. They've been lobbying, getting politicians in their back pockets to tell them that one glass of wine a day is healthy.
Yeah.
Right? So there's it's a parallels with what happened, 50, 60 years ago with the tobacco industry. And the facts are very clear now. We can look back at it. Smoking has reduced by 73% since they put warning labels that tobacco and smoking cigarettes causes cancer. Why would we not want that? Why would anybody be upset about that? I'm sorry, but if you care about health, if you are a health professional, and if you are not talking about this, and if you are upset about this, you do not care about health. You care about your personal agenda. You care about your bias is what it is. Because a lot of these times people are telling you seed oils are bad for you, and then they're not talking about alcohol. That's what I'm really getting fucking pissed off about, right?
Yeah. Keep going for the low-hanging fruit that literally there's no issue with.
Yeah. The shit that actually matters, they're not talking about. That's what they do. That's what these people do. I'll call it out. The Maha movement. I see nobody in the Maha movement talking about this.
Nobody.
No, they're talking about it in a fact that it's fake. Why are they just now saying this?
Then they go back to the food. Well, that's great that they want to do that. But what about the food? Whataboutism doesn't fucking help anybody. Shut the fuck up. You know what? And I have to say that I am not someone that has not been involved in misinformation. I used to believe sugar caused cancer. I used to believe that carbs made me fat. I used to believe all kinds of things until I got educated and knew better. Because when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
Right. And I totally own up to all that stuff. And that's why I can relate to a lot of people, because I used to be you. I used to think like you, and very harshly, mind you. I was intensely in high beliefs about this shit in the midst of my alcoholism. So make that make sense. I was a total hypocrite. I call myself out. I'll call myself anytime. Call yourself the fuck out. It's okay. What is wrong with owning up to your shit? What is wrong with that?
Exactly.
Does it mean you failed at something? No, it means you're fucking learning and you're getting better.
You're growing. That's what we're supposed to do.
You're growing the fuck up.
Being willing, being able to admit when you were wrong.
Yeah.
That's actually a really incredible sign of intelligence and maturity.
Yep.
Owning up when you were wrong. And owning up when you've been doing something that you know that hasn't been good for you. right? So what you just said, like that's everybody, and I want to say we were talking about cognitive dissonance. Everybody has cognitive dissonance. It's being able to identify that, hey, this actually doesn't make sense. Why is that?
Yep.
I call myself out type thing. That's
Yeah.
what everybody, that's what we need to work on.
It's
Everybody
okay to be wrong. What is wrong with being wrong? It is okay to have your beliefs shattered. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, this is the fucking truth.
I mean, right. I've been wrong about alcohol, right? Before I started getting serious about my health, even earlier in my days as a coach, I still was drinking a lot, you know, until I started really, when I started educating myself more, when I really got into, started getting into the nitty gritty, really started to understand exactly. I knew alcohol was bad for me, of course. I mean, I can go get drunk and understand that. I feel like shit the next day because of the alcohol.
Right.
You know, I understand that, but I definitely didn't understand like how it would, like the mechanisms and like to the severity of it. So that's why we're talking about this, because the Surgeon General also in that same advisory, they had done they did an American poll, a big ass survey. I'm going to see if they said how many people were in that survey.
Okay.
Here's the graphic. Less than half of Americans are aware that alcohol consumption increases cancer risk. That is alarming, Beth. Less than half of Americans are aware. And this is a survey of a nationally representative sample of U.S. adults age 18 and older. The source is 2019 AICR Cancer Risk Awareness Survey from the American Institute for Cancer Research. Okay, you can go download it. You can go look at that yourself. Percentage of people who are aware that radiation increases cancer risk, 91%.
Imagine that.
89% of people know that tobacco increases cancer risk. 81% of people know that asbestos increases cancer risk. 53% of people understand and know that obesity increases cancer risk. That's kind of alarming that only half people know that too. And then alcohol, 45% of Americans are aware that alcohol consumption increases
Maybe
cancer risk.
maybe if we called it for what it is, would you like a glass of ethanol? It sounds better than would you like a cocktail? You know, makes it sound all fancy.
Right.
And
Yeah,
it's all,
100%. That's the
you know what I'm saying?
glamorization
So that's
of
where
it.
glamorizing alcohol, glamour.
Think about it. So as part of the regulations on the tobacco industry, when was the last time you saw cigarettes in a TV show or movies?
Oh,
Probably
long
in the
time,
90s, I think. I'm not sure when that law was passed. It was in the last couple of decades, but the tobacco industry, of course, is still fighting it. But they can't legally put cigarettes in TV shows and movies anymore. But yet alcohol is everywhere. I mean, for fuck's sake, the NFL is sponsored by like Bud Light or something. Every big organization, everything you're watching, sponsored by Bud Light, sponsored by Miller Lite, sponsored by your favorite alcoholic drink.
Let's see how this goes.
Let's
see how this goes in the future. I can almost guarantee those will be gone.
That it is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when that happens.
No more commercials, no more Budweiser
because that's
fucking
part
horses.
of the Surgeon General's advisory is that shit needs to change. And another thing he said needs to change is we need to do a analysis and reassess the recommended daily amount that is safe for alcohol. That is going to really piss some people off. That's coming, guys. Brace yourself. There's going to be a lot of fight for that. It's probably not going to happen anytime soon because it's going to be politicized. But the amount of alcohol that is recommended will change. We've talked about it on this podcast before.
Danny Montrega, he did a whole episode about alcohol. If you have not listened to that, wow, please do.
That was a mind blow too.
That was an amazing podcast.
We should repost. It's time for us to repost an episode.
Oh, Matt, that would be a perfect one to repost for this time of year or right now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
All right. Well, stay tuned, guys, because we're going to repost in that episode, so you don't got to go find it.
Yeah.
We'll put that one out next Wednesday.
That'll be our Wednesday one. Yep.
Yeah. Yay. So yeah, these are big problems. Okay. And so why do we talk about it? Why are we not going to stop? That's why, because these are big fucking problems that nobody knows about.
Yeah. And we're passionate about this. I know I am, because I know the damage that this has done to a lot of people.
Yeah. Can I talk about some more data and facts? Because I've got all kinds of facts and I want to share these because this is straight from the Surgeon General, the advisory. You guys can all go Google this. Just Google U.S. Surgeon General advisory. Please fact check this. Call me out. I believe in having conversations. I will cite everything I ever talk about. And I challenge you to ask your influencers, the people you're following on social media, do the same. Where's the evidence? Let's talk about the evidence. And if they're not, they're fucking dismissed. Okay. So this one is really alarming. 741,300 cancer cases worldwide were attributable to alcohol consumption in 2020 alone. 185,100 cancer cases came from less than 2 drinks per day. 209,800 of those cancer cases came from drinking 2 to 4 drinks per day. 192,900 of those cancer cases came from drinking 6+ drinks per day. 153,400 came from drinking 4 to 6 drinks per day. Just 2 drinks per day saw an increase of 185,000 people getting cancer. Okay. And let's talk about one drink, what that actually is, because people have gotten one drink far, far wrong.
Mm-hmm.
One standard drink in the United States contains 14 grams of pure alcohol, that equates to a 5-ounce pour of wine, a 12-ounce beer, or a 1.5 shot of liquor. It doesn't matter the source. All alcohol is poisonous, is ethanol. That's what we hear a lot, right? Not my wine. That's heart healthy. Fuck off. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's not healthy. And you're not drinking that one glass of that one pour. You ever go to a restaurant and you get a pour? That is what a pour, and you get offended. That's not a pour. No, my friend, that is a real pour.
Mm-hmm.
Your one drink is actually more like 3 or 4 drinks. So we need to be honest about our pours and our consumption. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Now, these facts might sound brutal because they fucking are. And
That's the thing. It's like, they sound really harsh, but this is the reality.
This is the reality fucking check that we need. This is the wake up call. If this doesn't wake people up, what will? What will? So, all along those lines, we already mentioned this, but consuming alcohol increases the risk of developing at least 7 types of cancer. Okay. Mouth, the oral cavity, throat, your pharynx, your esophagus, right? Alcohol's going down your esophagus, your voice box, right? Your larynx, breast in women, and your liver, and then your colon and rectum. At least we know for sure, and more research is needed because there's going to be more types of cancer that are caused by alcohol. That's going to be a fact. Just accept that. But right now we know for sure it's these 7.
Yeah.
Alarming. Okay.
Pretty alarming.
Now,
And I honestly, like, it still worries me having been a drinker of like over 20 years,
yes.
you know?
Yeah, I agree. It worries me too. Like, man,
So,
I had I had a crazy 15-year period there,
Yeah.
like I need to go see what my liver looks like. I need to get everybody, if you've ever drank, even if it was 10, 15 years ago, 20, 30, go get yourself checked, please. The good news is the moment you stop drinking, your body begins to repair itself. So the further you are removed from that drink and all those drinks and doing that, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned earlier about the absolute risk of cancer in risk for women and men. So we were talking about just developing any type of cancer in general. But here's more specific for most of our audience is women. So I want to I call this out here. Absolute risk of breast cancer, not just any type of cancer. Absolute risk of breast cancer for women is less than 1 drink per day. 11.3% absolute risk of developing breast cancer, even if you're drinking less than 1 drink per day, guys. Like, we're not saying this, please, to scare you, to shame you, to guilt you. We need to do something about these things, and we need to have these conversations. About 4 more women out of 100 would develop breast cancer due to consumption of 2 drinks a day.
Yeah.
If we can control these things, like, everybody wants to be healthy. Everybody's talking about the keys to being healthy. We're telling you that the shit right now.
Yeah. And if you struggle with not being able to give up your alcohol, there is help out there. Because I get it, right? There's so many online support groups. There's AA. If your significant other is struggling and you don't know what to do, you can go to Al-Anon meetings and get help from other people that are going through the same thing. There is help. Reach out to me, reach out to Matt. But,
Absolutely.
It's hard. It's hard. I get it.
While if you struggle with alcoholism, that's obviously outside of our scope of practice. We can support you. We can give you resources. But even if you're somebody like me, I'm sober curious, and a lot of our followers, they're like, yeah, I'm just reevaluating. I'm reducing my alcohol. Like, even things like our challenges. People are doing our challenges to be try sober and to find a community and support, because so many people are like, oh man, alcohol just isn't doing it for me anymore, guys.
Yeah.
I just need somebody to surround myself with that's not an alcoholic but doesn't want alcohol in their life anymore. Well, there's communities here for you for that too.
Yeah.
My friend Krista, I don't know if you saw the story I posted today, but Krista, I'm gonna shout her out here. She's got a podcast too, Crime and Chaos. It's actually I started listening to it. It's like a true crime
Nice.
podcast.
Yep.
She lifelong friend of mine. I've not real good friends with her, but she's really good friends. She's like best friends with my cousin, who I'm really close with, Lisa.
Okay.
So she's like, not Lisa, but Krista has been the biggest partier there is. The fun girl, the life of the party, right? Well, she just made a video yesterday. Guys, it's fun and games until it catches up with you. She's like the vaping, the smoking, the boozing, the partying, the late nights, the eating like trash. It's fun in your 20s. But now, like, she's like, I'm 38 or whatever. She's like, now it's catching up with me. And now it's caught up with me. And she's like, I'm just wanting you guys to know that, yeah, it's all fun and games while you're doing it until it's no longer fun and games. And that's really, I don't want it to get to that point for people. I don't want it to get to that point for people when they realize, like, oh my God, have I done reversible damage? Or
Right.
irreversible damage?
Irreversible. Yeah.
That's what we're trying to prevent.
Yep.
So some of the ways that alcohol can cause cancer, this was one of the biggest things about this announcement from the Surgeon General is now we are starting to really understand how alcohol causes cancer.
Do you have that info, Matt?
Yeah, there's 4 mechanisms. Okay. So alcohol alters levels of multiple hormones, including estrogen. Okay, you mentioned this earlier, which can increase breast cancer risk. Okay, when your estrogen increases, it alters your breast tissue, which causes DNA damage. This is at a molecular level that we're seeing cancer develop because of alcohol. That's one mechanism. Another mechanism, alcohol leads to greater absorption of carcinogens. So we want to talk about carcinogens. Well, let's talk about what's actually going on, right? Well, carcinogens dissolve in alcohol. Alcohol alters cells in our mouth and our throat, and carcinogens are then more easily absorbed. So you're talking about alcohol, and then you're talking about these foods that are carcinogens, right? Well, if you're that fucking afraid of them, and you're drinking alcohol, you're really just double fucking yourself, right? I mean, because drinking alcohol allows your body to absorb these harmful carcinogens more efficiently. You're opening up your cells and you're saying, hey, come fuck me up. Is what you're saying. Please. Come fuck me up. So that's another mechanism. Another mechanism, and this is what we talk about with ethanol, is how alcohol is broken down. Okay. It damages our DNA in multiple ways, which causes an increased risk of cancer. Okay. Because when alcohol gets broken down, we drink it, it's ethanol, gets converted into acetaldehyde, which causes DNA damage. Third mechanism. Fourth mechanism is alcohol induces oxidative stress, including the risk of cancer by damaging DNA, proteins, and cells, increasing inflammation. That buzzword, inflammation that people are talking about with food, with cortisol, with all this other bullshit that actually doesn't have anything to do with any. No, it's the alcohol that's causing the inflammation. It's the food you're eating while you're drunk that's causing the inflammation and causing you to get sick. Okay. And the way that mechanism works is your body, you get the reactive oxygen species, which converts down the chain into oxidative stress. And that the end result is DNA, proteins, and lipids damage. And that is how you get cancer from it. So those are the 4 mechanisms that we know as of right now how alcohol causes cancer. So we know that it causes cancer. We know how. So now the question is, what are you going to do about it? We know that just one drink a day or one drink a week even increases our chances of developing multiple types of risk. Take that information what you will. So what can we do, Beth? Let's talk about just what can we do if we're somebody that wants to start reducing our alcohol and start building a healthier life around alcohol. Let's present solutions too. We're talking about a big fucking problem. Let's give them some solutions. We got about 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, you can do a 30-day challenge like Dry January currently, right?
Yep.
You could start swapping out your cocktails for mocktails.
Yes. Do you have any good mocktail suggestions? I know I'll shout
stick
out,
to the same thing.
Cured
Honestly,
Nutrition has actually been
Oh,
posting.
right, that
Shout out
too.
to Cured, guys.
Yeah.
If you're interested in going the sober route, Dry January. This is another reason why we love Cured Nutrition, because they're big believers in sobriety and living a healthier lifestyle in that way. So they've been posting some mocktail recipes. They just posted like a mock margarita, I think, or maybe it was a mock mule. Those are a lot of fun. I've never
Yes.
been a cocktail person, so the mocktails
Yeah.
aren't for me. But if you like the pretty fun drinks with the fun names,
Mhm.
somebody just messaged me and said phony Negroni. They call it a phony Negroni. It's fucking awesome.
Phony
I love it.
Negroni.
Like we need to normalize that shit.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of different things, but I never got into the mocktail scene because I was a binge drinker and I didn't give a fuck about the taste.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just being real. Like I just drank it because if I can,
Because you're an alcohol.
yeah, I didn't care. To me, actually, alcohol tastes disgusting. Never liked the taste.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite end. I'm somebody that did like to drink eventually because I liked the taste of whiskey, bourbon, scotch. I just love those big strong boulders. Flavors. I made a video about that yesterday.
Yeah, I drink Diet Coke with lemon, seltzer, but I never. And sometimes if I'm at a bar that actually has specialized mocktails, I may try one.
Yeah,
but I don't really go out of my way to get a mocktail, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. Yeah. So there's the mocktails. Something I've always enjoyed is the non-alcoholic beers, right? I've talked about those on the podcast.
Yeah.
Non-alcoholic beers. A couple of options for those. Athletic Brewing Company. I love Athletic Brewing Company because their values align with us. They're all about performance, going out there, kicking ass in the gym with your training and everything and living your best, healthiest life. Like that's one thing we've talked about. Why are we going to go around a marathon and start chugging beers at the finish line? That makes no sense. Athletic Brewing Company is like, yeah, that doesn't make sense to us either. Here's this awesome option, So that's becoming more and more prevalent, which is really cool.
Also, find a fucking hobby. I think I drank so much because I didn't have a fucking purpose either.
Yes.
I had no fucking purpose in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like find something that gives you joy. I think you have to create a lifestyle that you do not want to escape from. And alcohol is an escape.
Beth, I'm not a mom. I am a father, but I think that's a big problem with the mommy wine culture is that women get so caught up because society makes them feel this way, that their entire life revolves around their children. And so now they have mommy wine culture. Mommy needs wine before soccer practice. Mommy needs
blaming
wine
your kids for needing wine.
Right.
That's bullshit. I did the same thing. And that's horrible. I don't ever.
You're gonna put that on your kid?
You know what I'm saying? I did that. I was like, oh my God, Johnny cries so much. He drives me to drink. Now, he's just a baby. He's a fucking baby that cries. You don't need to drink because of that. You had the baby. They're a fucking child. We have to stop blaming our kids for our drinking. That's fucking bullshit. That's the mommy wine culture is the most disgusting culture, to be honest, I think. With all their little fucking cups and their little everything, the stickers.
I would agree with that. And guys, like if you feel some type of way about that, like we're sorry, but like it's bullshit that you have to pregame to go to your fucking toddler's
You're
birthday
taking
party.
your fucking wine thing and your little Yeti to soccer games. Like that's fucking scary.
And if we think about it, like what do we want our children to do when they grow up? Is that the type of behavior that we want to model for our children?
You're modeling that in front of your child.
They know. Okay, they know. I knew when I was growing up that I very vividly remember. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this, I love you very much. I knew when you were drinking Rolling Rock, right? A kid knows. A kid knows.
Yeah.
You can't hide around that shit. And I know that I would have to ask my mom, but I would imagine I probably had my first sip of beer at a very 4 or 5 fucking years old, probably. So my earliest memories are of house parties. And right? I mean, that was the time I grew up in the 80s and 90s. House parties. My parents were bikers. Like I get it.
Getting into your parents' liquor cabinet,
Mustang. I wanted to be just like him. Well, the partying, maybe not. I started mimicking that. When I started growing up, I did the same shit. I was doing the same shit as a teenager, partying, smoking, boozing.
I'm a better parent without alcohol. I can actually handle more my life and my son's, things that are going on with him. They don't make me drink. I can actually be okay with struggling sometimes and having hard days because that is just life, fucking life.
That's the other thing. We go out of our way to avoid discomfort. We talked about this before, but I'm going to shout out the book here, Dopamine Nation, right? I think everybody needs to, if all this stuff is resonating, go read Dopamine Nation. It'll change your fucking perspective on a lot of things.
Yes.
Even food addiction. This has been good. I like this.
I know, it's already
I feel good
5:01.
about talking about this, honestly, because
we
care so much. And
that's the thing. We care. And I've been there. I've had struggles with food. I've had struggles with alcohol, and I know none of it is easy, but I know the only way out is through. And that is owning up to your own shit and taking personal responsibility, no matter how hard it is.
Can't avoid the pain anymore. We can't avoid
know?
this, because when you avoid the pain, then you're going to welcome suffering, right?
Yeah.
Pain in life is inevitable, but we do not have to suffer and struggle. That is something we choose. That is a choice.
Yeah.
Is it going to be painful to reduce your amount of alcohol in your life? If maybe. Is it going to be painful losing friendships because your entire friendship revolved around just meeting up for drinks? Maybe. But also let that relationship change. Let that person no longer be in your life. If just you no longer wanting to drink as much means that they're not going to see you anymore. Let them.
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins. We're just dropping all kinds of
Matt
gems
Mel
here.
Robbins.
Let
them.
Mel Robbins.
Well, that's a great book, you guys. I'm on chapter 9 right now.
How's that going?
It's really good. It's really, really good. I definitely, I feel like I already kind of live like that. It's just, you think I had no fucks. I'm literally so out of fucks. I'm kind of worried myself.
Well,
I'm scared of my own self of how many fucks I have none left. Like they're gone. They're fucking
so another
gone.
book suggestion here, guys, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. You don't have unlimited fucks, so you have to be very careful what you do.
Yes. I have moderate fuck distribution.
My empathy around arguing about alcohol is I have no fucks left there.
And I will go balls out.
Having adult conversations about this, or I'm not interested.
Yep.
Really quickly, we did mention Cured.
Yes.
Which we fucking love Cured. They have some exciting stuff coming. Not going to say yet what it is, but if you are somebody like, hey, that sounds awesome. Love the dry January. I love, sober curiosity. I want to lean into that more, but you need some healthier mechanisms, coping skills, right? Outside of alcohol. There's always Cured Nutrition. We love the Serenity Gummies to help us to work on a lot of the things that alcohol was filling that void for. The nightly unwind drink, right? Well, why not do it in a little bit more health promoting way with CBD, right? And microdose, and do it in a way that's going to be healthier for you. That's not carcinogenic.
That maybe will help you get off the alcohol.
That will help you get off the alcohol, right? Somebody
taking the anxiety down a little bit.
Like why do you have to smoke, or why do you have to take edibles? Like you're just replacing one thing with another. I'm like, first of all, there's medicinal effects of CBD and THC, so get on board, right? So I'm not interested in that conversation either, because CBD and THC has been proven to help with a lot of things. That's why they prescribe it to, cancer patients, people with anxiety, people that have eating disorders. Like if you are under eating, sometimes they'll prescribe you marijuana to help you eat, right?
Yep.
It's literally.
Exactly.
They prescribe it to help you sleep. Okay. And that's what people take alcohol for, but alcohol doesn't actually do those things. It gives you the illusion in the moment that it's doing that for you. But in the long run, it's impacting your sleep. It's impacting your recovery. It's impacting all your metabolic processes, because when you drink alcohol, even if it's just one drink, all metabolic processes fucking stop, because alcohol is a foreign invader. Your body's like, what the fuck? Get this out. I need to stop doing everything right now because this thing's going to kill me. That's essentially what's going on in your body. Can't digest protein, can't digest the carbs, the fats, anything else. No, got to get rid of this toxin.
Yeah.
Even one drink. That is how your body sees it as. So if you can't agree with that, I don't know what more else to tell you at this point.
Yeah.
But if you are interested in that help, guys, we love Cured Nutrition for that, for looking for a sober alcohol-free alternative. You guys know the deal. curenutrition.com/CTC, and you'll get 20% off with our code CTC. Double thumbs up. This has been great. We want to know, guys.
CTC.
What are your thoughts on this episode? Has this been helpful? Okay.
Or what are your thoughts on this information in general that we've been hearing? Like, let us know. You know, are you struggling? Like,
are you struggling? Let's have some conversations.
What's going on?
We're here to help you. We're here to have conversations. And even if you disagree with us, we will have those conversations, but please do not come at us in a negative way or with whataboutisms.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't want to hear what about the food. I don't want to hear about that right now, because that's not the problem.
Yes.
Okay. It's your relationship with food that's the problem. Let's talk about what's actually going on right now, and that is the fucking alcohol situation that has been just released by the Surgeon General. Okay.
Yeah.
So You can't
Anything else
compare.
is a distraction.
You can't compare apples to oranges, and stop trying to divert the subject to something else that has
Two
nothing
things
to
can be
fucking
true.
do with the topic. Okay.
It's like when you talk about regulating guns and people are like, well, what about,
What about?
like, no, stop it. You're not helping anybody, and you're just it's a distraction. You're not allowing anybody to actually help with either of those things by saying, what about this? That helps nobody. So let's have some real mature adult conversations. Even if you disagree with us, that's fine. We welcome conversation.
Yeah.
But if you come at us like an asshole, guess what you're going to get in return? Okay.
Right. Exactly. Fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find
That's
out.
all I gotta say, because I am not afraid. I know Matt is not afraid.
Yeah, people have been finding out.
All right. I will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye everyone.
Hope you enjoyed this episode, so why not share with a friend who needs to hear it? Send us a DM on Instagram or email us at cutthecrappod@gmail.com and join our Patreon at patreon.com/cutthecrappodcast. As always, we appreciate you and thanks for being here.